At the starting of the war, here alive with the store. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See the leaders. Hello, my name is Borovenskiy, and I am the theater director. On January 5th, Ukrainian public figures published an open appeal to the world leaders and the international community dedicated to the issues of ending the war in a just way and establishing a sustainable peace. The document is signed by more than 160 persons, including human rights activists, MPs, diplomats, academics, famous artists, leaders of the largest business associations, and various religious communities, Christian, Muslim, and Jewish. The appeal, entitled "Do Not Appease Evil," highlights the Ukrainian vision of Russia's far-reaching subversive objectives and depicts the positive and the negative scenarios of the war's end that depend on the position of the world leaders and the international community. Well, I am the theater director, and this is what I do. I will read to you the appeal. Do not appease evil. An open appeal by Ukrainian public figures to the world leaders and the international community. The new year, 2025, brings many uncertainties, yet much hope to Ukraine and Europe, as we try to find a straightforward solution to a complex problem: how to end the big war. As Ukrainian public figures and intellectuals, we address the world leaders and the international community in order to share our perspectives on the forthcoming challenges and expectations. Above all, we would like to emphasize that acquiring additional territories is not Russia's primary objective in this war. It already has vast undeveloped territories, and when it seizes a new land, this land is systematically neglected. Oh yeah. Similarly, this objective is not merely to bring Ukraine back under its control. This is only one of the intermediate goals. Russia's ultimate aim is to break the current world order. It seeks to regain its status of a superpower that acts arbitrarily and, by the right of the stronger, attacks neighbors, interferes in the affairs of other countries, commits terrorist acts, supports authoritarian regimes, and illegally armed groups around the world. None of this is an isolated incident, a whim of Putin, or a temporary deviation from normalcy. It is a part of a strategic design. This is why, 3 years ago, Putin issued an ultimatum to the United States and its allies in Europe, demanding a return to the 1997 disposition. Didn't know about this, by the way. Ukraine, by reason of its history and geography, has become the next target on the way to realization of these revanchist inventions. For Ukraine itself, this war is existential. It is a war for survival of the Ukrainian nation, society, and state. Ukrainian democratic and Russian authoritarian imperial political visions are essentially mutually exclusive. That means that any freezing of the conflict at this or that demarcation line will not lead either to a relief of tensions or to the establishment of sustainable peace. For Russia, such a freeze would primarily signal the weakness of the West and encourage further aggression and wars that spill the blood of Europeans and Americans. Sustainable peace will not come only when, under the combined pressure of Ukraine and its allies, Russia faces a systematic crisis and the defeat of Putin's regime. As proven by history, tyrannies are fragile. This war is not confined to Ukraine, nor can the Ukrainian question be solved exclusively within the framework of Russian-Ukrainian relations. If the world leaders demand concessions of the territories and sovereignty from Ukraine without providing any effective security guarantees, they will essentially bring about Ukraine's defeat, which will signal to China and other revisionists that they can seize what they want. North Korean troops will appear in different hotspots. Piracy, blocking of trade routes, attacks on informational system and global communications will sabotage global trade. Long-standing efforts to limit the spread of nuclear weapons will be reduced to naught. Russia's media influence, cyber attacks, covert operations, and election interference in democratic countries will undermine the world order. And the possible fall of Ukraine would create a large wave of refugees and open the way for Putin to advance further westward. On the other hand, an effective end of Russia's aggression against Ukraine could be a solution to many problems. of the democratic world, Russia's defeat in its war of aggression against Ukraine would re-establish the world based on rules and interdependence of responsible players. The security of global trade, global nuclear energy, and food security will be strengthened. Terrorist regimes and organizations around the world will lose Russian support and weaken. Today, Ukraine is buying time for the democratic world to unite and strengthen. But this time is not limitless. The forces defending peace, freedom, and human dignity must go on the offensive. Ukraine and the entire democratic world can only win together or give in and lose together. The illusion of peace at the cost of shame has repeatedly brought on a new war. The strength of a democracy is the ability to learn from past mistakes. I will repeat this. The strength of a democracy is the ability to learn from past mistakes. Ukraine, too, has fought and continues to fight its way to democracy through trial and error. It is paying an exorbitant price along the way. Each and every one of us has relatives and friends that lost property, their health, or even their lives. But we understand that the price of war will be even higher if our allies are seduced by the illusion of stopping the war without addressing its causes. And this is not only for Ukraine, but for the entire world. That is why we urge our partners to look for a way not to appease the aggressor, but to win together. Evil cannot be appeased. It must be defeated and punished for the sake of a secure future of Ukraine, Europe, and the entire world. January 5th, 2025. Signed by more than 150 Ukrainian philosophers, political figures, activists, celebrities, people of influence, politicians. I know many of those people. Some of them I know for the first time. And on my side, I have my famous quote that I came up with a long time ago when I was still young and a kid. And it goes like this: the evil will be punished. Otherwise, the evil is us. Well, it's that clear, guys. The evil should be punished. Otherwise, the evil is you. And any concessions, any truce is a shame to democratic world. It's very clear. Any attempt of any democratic country to seize the other country territory is a shame and disgrace to the world we see it. We, as human beings, as the societies that build the whole established thing together, when you can go out on the street and not be afraid that the neighbor will hit you on the head and take your property just because he wants it. That's simple. You don't have to be Ukrainian to get it. You don't have to be Ukrainian, Canadian, American, Frenchman, Englishman to get it. You have to be a human being. It's that simple, guys. So on my side, as the theater director, this is what we're going to do. I read this appeal and I urge you guys to record the similar appeal, the same appeal. Just read it. Read it out loud, upload it. The message will be stronger and further. We are going to translate the appeal in different languages: Spanish, French, Finnish, Swedish, Croatian, Hungarian, Chinese, Hindu, Portuguese, and all the languages that we can get our hand on, and we will. And if you want to help with that, reach out to me and we'll do this thing together. The whole world should hear about that. Together we stand. Divided we fall. Thank you. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See the leaders